Guys, the gas prices are getting out of control. America did not run out of gas, it ran out of patience. At this point, the gas pumps should ask for a cosigner because you pull up, you swipe your card, the pump starts moving, right? And you get like $20, $30, $40, and your card is like sitting there like, relax, man, we're just getting started. And then you remember, you still have to go commute, you still have groceries to pay, you have rent, you have insurance coming, and it's always the same paycheck. So I don't understand how people manage to afford all of this because it's getting really out of control. And we can see reactions like this woman over here because honestly, what else can you do? You can only be a little bit sarcastic and laugh a little bit because it is insanely costly to fill up your tank. Let's watch this.
Hi, friendly friends. I'm just here at the refuel pump station getting my gas for, $4.17 a gallon, in South Carolina. I love paying $4.17 a gallon because you know what? If I weren't paying $4.17 a gallon, you know what would happen? They would be eating my cats and eating my dogs, and I would be so afraid of that. And luckily, they're not eating my cats and my dogs because now I get to pay $4.17 a gallon. I was so afraid of that. And you know what? If I didn't get to pay $4.17 a gallon, you know what else? I might even have body autonomy, and I didn't want that either. I mean, I would also, you know what? Oh no, I might even get to read books that I wanted to read without them getting banned and all kinds of other stuff. But I'm so glad to be paying all for this gas. I'm so excited.
I don't understand.
Look, I get it. I understand why she is saying that. Let's be honest. A lot of people voted because they wanted relief from the current financial situation, right? They wanted to escape the situation that we cannot afford anything. A little bit of cheaper gas, cheaper groceries, lower rent. And what are we getting? That is the problem. If you go to the gas station and the pump basically says, congratulations, there is no cheap gas for you. It's like one of the core promises that Trump made. And it's like that campaign where we had that songs, they are eating the dogs, they are eating the cats, now they are eating the fuel, and there's no money to pay it back. And she's doing that perfectly. It's a great demonstration that this administration is not pulling their weight. They're not respecting the promises that they made. And they are just showing they don't care about the population. And yeah, that song was very funny and catchy, and people remember that. But one thing I can assure you, people are going to remember that all of the promises are being broken. If you go to the gas station, you're going to see that in your pocket. It's like many people can't even commute to work right now. So I totally relate with what she is saying. And I don't know what's going to happen. I truly don't. If this continues like this, it's going to be really bad really soon. Let's continue.
To gas prices. 2 weeks ago, gas was $2, and today gas is $4. You guys, did gasoline go to college and come back with a master's degree in pricing? Oh my God! I came to get gas, and the pump is looking at me like a bank loan officer, asking questions like, "Say, are you ready for this financial decision? What is going on here? Look at gas prices. What is going on here? How are we gonna survive? Driving in America is now luxury. Oh my God!
True.
How are we gonna survive here? How? $4? Oh my God! Oh my God! $4, guys! $4! I can't move! I can't move!
Why would I go here for gas?
It's funny, right? The joke is funny, but it feels true. It's like 1 minute gas. It's like you think you can manage it, right? Then you come back the other day and the pump is acting like, whoa, you got a promotion. And that's the part that makes people angry. It's not just the numbers, it's the speed and the rate that this fluctuation in prices are going. It feels like nobody asked for this, and it's like your paycheck is never ready to pay this amount. Because when gas prices jump like this, normal people, they do not sit around thinking about supply chains or that that we have many refineries that are closed and we cannot produce, even if we want tomorrow, we cannot produce the amount of refining. We don't have them. They are closed. You have to open new refineries, you have to process, and then we have that problem with the strategic petroleum reserve that is depleted. It's at half point right now because the previous administration used a lot of that. And we have the situation with we had the one with Venezuela where we destabilized the country to get it control under the America, all right? And we have the situation on the Strait of Hormuz where it is a quagmire. And yeah, the prices are going to the roof, and nobody can stand this. And imagine when you have food, distribution of food, and then when you have kids, right? The bills start piling up, and the joke starts to not be funny anymore. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out, but if this administration don't get their act together, well, they are for a ride.
When this is across the street. I don't understand how gas prices can be so drastically different right now.
Oh, Mr. President, the gas prices are getting kind of high. Well, at least...
Before we go to this guy. Yeah, the price difference in the same street can happen a lot. It's actually very normal. Why that happens is because there's different price points in rent, right? Because different traffic zone, different overhead, so that station has a lower cost. It can compete, lowering the prices. But yeah, when the whole country feels like that the pumps is getting heavier, it's not just one station that is being expensive. You start thinking that the system, and it is to a certain point, against you, and it's like a monopoly that these companies have. So yeah, but it's very common to see on the same street different price points. But we're going to see here a young man, right? He's very pissed with the situation. Let's check it out.
I don't give a fuck if Iran has a bomb. Everybody got bombs. Matter of fact, I hope they fucking use it because I don't want to live in this fuck-ass world anymore where I'm paying $4 for gas.
You know what I find ironic? A lot of people...
Yeah. Look, I understand the frustration, man, because gas is not just gas. You have groceries, you have rent, you have insurance, electricity, and don't get me on the electricity with the data centers that they are building for AI. And I use a lot of AI. I have other channels, and I really like using AI. I know that AI is going to piss a lot of people because many people are going to lose their jobs with automation. And the other thing is the data centers, they consume water, drinkable water. We're not talking about water that is not good for human consumption. We are talking about the purest water is going to be used to cool up those data centers, and then that water is not usable. The other thing is that the electricity costs that you are paying because of these data centers, because of AI. And the other thing is that AI basically is like they are creating these machines, right, that understands how you operate, and then the machine is going to do everything that you do, so you are replaceable. Probably they're going to give a basic income, and that's going to be very bad because you will not have any opportunity of raising in society. You're going to be stuck in that position forever. So I think, well, a basic income is definitely necessary in this economy, but I think we are in the wrong direction right now. That's just me. Let's continue.
To have voted for Donald Trump because of the economy, right? Whether you believe that or not, a lot of people said they want lower grocery prices and lower gas prices, right? And now gas prices might be the thing that, I don't want to say takes down the Trump administration, but will greatly impact his second term. And them playing in our face, acting like this isn't happening. Like, I think I saw a video of this guy talking about how the White House is essentially playing in our face, saying that this is the lowest gas has been, like, in history or something like that. Like, they posted a graphic.
Yeah, I saw that chart, and that is a really bad propaganda. It's like they think people are stupid. And I hate what they are doing. Let's continue.
White House social team posted this, and they're like, "Do y'all think we're dumb? Gas, most places is over $4, approaching $5. There was a girl I saw the other day talking about how her Chevy Malibu took $70 to fill up. 70. Mind you, I drive a Chevy Malibu. The day my Chevy Malibu goes over, honestly, 50, and I'm this close, I'm gonna have to call my boss. We're gonna have to work from home. We're gonna have to do hybrid. $50, and then the gas is diluted, so it goes faster. I've never had to put this much gas in my car. I just find it ironic that gas prices might be the thing that essentially ends the Trump administration when people just wanted cheaper groceries and gas prices.
I just filled up my car.
True. And that's the problem. When people earn so little and they are living paycheck to paycheck, and now we have all of these problems, right, with supply, demand, and production of gas. Then you have the summer that is coming in, so more driving, more demand, more people trying to get to places with the same paycheck, and the pump is like running like you got a promotion, right? And this is when people are going to start seeing that the stories that they are playing on the media, it's not matching reality. And when they say, don't worry, the economy is strong for them, not for us. They don't have the kids that they need to take to the soccer practice. They don't have the normal day life that a small financial decision can throw off the budget entirely for the month. They don't care about that. Normal people are not asking for luxuries. They are asking for opportunity to live with dignity. And that's what this administration and others don't give. Okay? They don't care.
And I'm kind of like shell-shocked. I have a 20-gallon car, and I just use the cheap shit, like the 85. $91.59. How are people gonna make it?
I don't know.
What? I don't even drive a truck. Like, I drive a mid-sized car. 20 gallons, $91. Help us.
Excuse my appearance. However, I know that gas has went up. That gas is up. However, periodically, in summarily, I have noticed that because that gas went up, that it seems like that meter. What's this called when the money show how much you gonna buy? That somehow that done went up too. Cause ain't no way I put that pump in. Put it on regular and sit in the car because I'm a grill. I'm not finna sit out there and hold that thing. What I look like? Behave. Stop playing. I'm not finna sit out there and hold that thing. And as soon as I sat in the car, it said $28. $28? 28? I only been in the car 28 seconds. Something is going on. Somebody is doing something. And I know these prices is high. Yes, they are. They are extremely astronomical. But thank God we're able to get us some scoop of gas. However, somebody the meters, somebody done rigged them. Somebody done rigged the meters because ain't no way. I just sat down and the thing says 28. What happened to 1 through 27? I didn't even see 1 through 27.
Well, what happens is when you swipe your card, there is the communication between that station, right, and the bank. And then they have like a preset between $75 and $150. So when you see those $27, that's not actually the pump sending the fuel. That's actually the connection. It's like a pre-balance, and then it starts operating normally. There is there is a seal on every gas station. Everything is certificate. There could be people tampering, of course, but usually it's everything is legit. The issue is that since everything is so expensive and people are sick and tired of being lied to, we start doubting everything in the system.
The doggone thing for $28. It's the meters. And I'm finna find the culprit. Give me some time, and I'm gonna find. getting there really aggravating me.
People keep asking me what gas prices are going to look like this summer. Let me put it to you this way. Right now in mid-May, our gasoline inventories are significantly lower than they were in May of 2022.
Exactly.
Right before we had record gas prices in June of 22. Yeah, our inventories are much lower and falling very fast. In addition to that, the price of gas today is actually higher than it was in May of 22 by about 10 cents a gallon. So summer driving season is starting, which means gas demand in the United States is going to increase a lot, especially over the next couple of weeks. But between mid-May of 2022 and mid-June of 2022, 1 month, gas prices jumped about 70 cents a gallon. And with gasoline inventories being as low as they are and going much, much lower in the next couple of weeks, we don't need oil to go to $120
Yeah, exactly. And with the prospect of war and supply chain issues and the lack of refineries, and with the huge demand of the summer, right? This is going to get higher. And this guy is absolutely spot on.
For us to break the record for highest gas prices ever, which was set in June of 2022. You see, on this day in May of 2022, oil was 110. Now it's 100, yet gas prices are higher now than it was then. It's because our inventories are low. So knowing all of that, where do you think gas prices are going to go this summer? Yeah, the days of still not as high as it was under Biden are very short-lived.
What happens when gas prices get...
And the cushion is thin, every problem hits harder. You're going to see this in the summer, more driving, more demand, more people trying to go to places with the same paycheck. That is not going to work. Unless this administration start implementing some measurements to drop the price down, this economy is going to hit a really tough spot. It's like normal people are not going to be able to afford this.
So high that people actually can't afford to drive to work. What happens then?
As soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before. The oil seems to have pretty much stabilized.
Are you worried about gas prices right now?
No, this is a short excursion. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. You're going to see a very big decrease in the price of gasoline, gas, anything having to do with energy as soon as this is ended. I can't say that, I don't want to have any impact on oil prices for 3 or 4 weeks or 2 months, and we're going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. I thought that oil prices would go much higher when I did this.
You see, this is a problem. They think that voters will understand. They will not. That's always the line. And maybe people do understand more than politicians think, but people understand pain, especially rent, groceries, gas. They understand when the credit cards are declined. They understand that the paycheck comes in and disappears before the month ends. So what they do not understand is why the people making the decisions always sound so relaxed about the bills that they do not personally have. They don't feel the pain of having to pay those. And they are so relaxed, so fine, everything is fine, everything is okay. It is not. They are in a bubble. That's the point. Because this gets to that situation. It's not only just the price. It's the attitude that these elites have. It's that feeling that normal people are screaming and the people in charge are like, don't worry, everything is fine, it's just a few months like this. First, people will not forget this. And people will remember that they cannot afford the basic. People will remember that when they ask for relief, they got these fake speeches.
Yeah. To bring them back down.
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon.
Do you believe the price of oil and gas will be lower before the midterm elections?
I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be. It could be or the same or maybe a little bit higher. Gasoline's coming down very soon and very big. Gas prices have come down very much over the last 3-4 days. The gas will go down. As soon as the war's over, it'll drop like a rock. There's so much of it. It's all over the place, sitting all over the oceans of the world. Gasoline is going to come down lower than what it was. Gas prices have come down today. Have you looked? The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Look, I know that Trump can be rough in the edges, but I do not agree with this. There are better ways to say this. And the other thing is that he's actually saying the truth. He does not care about you. He does not care. That's the issue, right? Many people voted for him, and now they are saying that he really doesn't care. He pretends to care, but it's always the same. It doesn't matter if it is left or right. It's always the same. They are in power. That's what they want. They don't care about what you are struggling. And let me know in the comments. What do you think of this? Do you think that this administration is doing good? Do you think that the prices are too high? How are you managing this high inflation and even gas? How are you going to work every day with these prices? Let me know in the comments.
With Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
What'd you make of that?
Yeah, that's bull crap.
I think that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Because of course he's not thinking about us at all.
I did vote for Trump. Seemed like a lot different, in the beginning. I'm not fully against everything, but more currently with the way things are going, I don't agree with. I don't think we should be in this war.
He doesn't care about our situation. He doesn't. He's just here for pride and ego. He's not lying, and he proves it. Not only that, but also like food stamps and other stuff. He does not care about our financial situation. He cares about giving himself a name.
When he says that he's not thinking about Americans' financial situations, what do you make of that?
I think sometimes he comes across, he doesn't always come across, he's a little raw, a little rough around the edges. So just because he says something in a certain way, I don't think he means that he doesn't care about people. I don't believe that for a minute.
I mean, I think that when you're someone who grew up with a certain amount of money, you're going to be out of touch. You're going to live in a completely different reality than other people. When you have no idea what it's like to actually have to work for a dollar, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Of course, the American pockets don't mean anything to you.
Our gas prices went up because he got us there. And now what's he doing to get them back down?
I'm glad we're taking care of every part of the world except for this part.
That's true.
$75 for what used to cost me $40. No tax on tips. No tax on this is a tax on every hardworking American. Thank you, DJT. My man in there asked me if I wanted to donate to whatever charity.
You already did, man.
I said, I just donated to your gas pumps out there, homie.
Yeah, you did.
There's nothing left. Call the mortgage engineer. Peace.
Okay, you know how I know it's bad out here? Look at this. $5. Someone put in $5. Over here, someone put in $15. And I'm literally about to put in $6 because I cannot afford anything more than $6 fucking of gas.
Look, I have been in this situation. I know what this is, man. This is terrible. And the sad part is that you have many people all over the country putting 5, 10 in the tank. They are not filling up. They are just buying one more trip to work, school, or groceries, wherever they can reach. And that is not normal. This is not how we should live. That is people negotiating with their own lives. Can I make it to work? Can I make it back? Can I stop at the store? Come on, this is not the way. This is not the American way. This is not the American way. This is the kind of math nobody wants to do, and this is terrible. And we are in this situation after 2008, and it's not getting any better. It's like they are crushing us. They are squeezing every last cent of our accounts. And if you find diesel expensive, you're going to see when everything is reflected on the food because of the trucks that bring to them, because the trucks they bring the food, they bring everything to our supermarkets, everything that we buy. So gas moves the entire country. It is going to be really, really bad.
Crazy. For 4 years, Republicans blamed Democrats for high gas prices. And now gas is over $4.50 a gallon nationally. And Republican lawmakers are like, no, voters are going to understand. They're going to be fine with this, I think. Gabe Evans, who is a congressman in my state of Colorado, said that gas prices are going to come down when the war is over. And my question is, Gabe, when do you think that will be? He also said, which is something that is completely psychotic, in comparison to Asian countries who are fuel rationing, we're doing fine.
Come on.
In comparison to what we were doing 3 months ago, Gabe, we are paying over 50% more in gas prices. I don't know why you think that we all fucking forgot that, but that's not good. We're doing worse now. Meanwhile, Richard Hudson, who is the head of the Republican campaign arm, says that he's not worried about gas prices at all, and that Republican voters are just going to simply remember how bad it was under Biden. Suddenly notice that gas prices were the president's fault under Joe Biden. Not here, though. Remember that. If your entire defense of energy costs rising for Americans is don't worry, the war will calm down eventually, that's not energy dominance or independence. That's you gambling with my mother's grocery money.
True. Why am I spending half of my paycheck just trying to drive to work, the grocery store, and my kids' stuff? Like, every time I fill up in Michigan, it's like a jump scare at the pump. Don't even get me started on people who drive, like, trucks or SUVs. I don't understand how they're affording it. I just don't. Like, people are out here choosing between a full gas tank and groceries. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah. I literally just can't.
You have to choose whether you drive or eat, you know? So, I mean, gas prices are crazy.
We're seeing gas prices at $4.19 at this gas station right now. I mean, what do you make of that?
It's too expensive, man.
The problem is we have many people in disability. We have many people that are old, cannot work. We have many people working 2 jobs. This cannot happen. How can we let it come, the situation to come to this point? And nobody says anything. Come on.
You know, if you make $15 an hour, you're young, like this is college town, how you going to survive like that?
I mean, it's been a big impact, especially since I travel so much for work. It puts a big damper on my living expenses and everything. It makes it difficult to really reach, financial goals. It's really frustrating, especially since they're just constantly increasing.
It was the whole thing that Trump promised everyone that people voted for is the lower gas prices, and here we are.
Lower prices on everything is what he said. Groceries, gas, everything. I feel like everything is just more expensive.
$10 really don't give you a half a tank these days.
And how's that impacting your life, your day-to-day, your bottom line?
It's kind of hard, but you have to do what you got to do, You got to maintain.
Since the price of fuel went up...
It gets to a point you cannot maintain. That's a problem. And you can see the disappointment in everybody. And it gets us in such a low vibe state. It's terrible. It's like, you got to do what you got to do, but it gets to a point you cannot do anymore because it doesn't pay. You don't have the money. It's so sad.
See how much is spent on diesel in 4 days of driving nonstop. As you can see, we're leaving on a full tank. And for this trip, we're heading to Minnesota, departing from Southern California. Here we are the next day, making our first stop for diesel. So let's see what the total comes out to. It came out to be $900 and 170 gallons. And this was our second day, so we were going to make our second stop to fill up the truck. As you can see, the total was $950 and 175 gallons overall. On that same day, a few hours later, we arrived to FedEx. Obviously on a full tank because we had barely filled up the truck. We were assigned to go back home to Southern California, so it was going to take us a little bit less than 2 days to get there. This was our third day, so it was going to be our third time putting diesel on. The total here came out to $905 with 174 gallons.
Whoa.
This was our fourth day and our last stop of the trip because we were almost home. So let's see how much diesel we put for the last day. It came out to $966 with 144 gallons. So overall, the total amount in 4 days was $3,722.
What do you mean regular is $4.75? In Pennsylvania, regular 1 gallon, regular unleaded, $4.75. You want to talk to me about a ballroom? A room for your balls. You got the balls to be talking about a new room for you when it costs, the minimum wage in Pennsylvania is $7.25. Somebody getting paid minimum wage? Over half of that out. They got to work 40 minutes before taxes to be able to afford 1 gallon of gasoline. You think people are going to show up for work? What happens if that shit hits $5 next week? That shit's going $5 next week. It was $3.89 last week. It was $3. I'm talking about regular unleaded. I'm not even talking about premium. I'm not even talking about Supreme. You got rid of the Supreme, remember? Supreme Leader, you blew him the fuck up. That Strait of Hormuz, you said it was open. You said the war was won.
Yeah.
That was 2 months ago, you fat bitch. I'm not in California. I'm not in fucking California. It's $4.75 at the fucking Wawa. And you out here yapping at me? Oh, I need a ball. You don't need a ball. You need to get some fucking brains. How about get you a brain room where you just stop fucking talking and tweet with your dumb little fat thumbs until the numbers go down. Because that shit, if I see a 5, I'm telling you, 42 years, I never seen a 5 at the beginning, a regular unleaded. I see a 5, oh, buddy. If I see a 5.
What do you think about gas prices?
Crack me up.
I gotta have I don't give a shit. You know, you see these freaking people all over social media. They, oh my God, these freaking gas prices are so high. Oh, the Iran. I don't care if they have nuclear weapons and they just don't want to pay $4. I don't care.
Come on.
It was just it was this high under Biden. Nobody said anything. But now all of a sudden it's a fucking problem. I don't get it. Because I don't even look at the gas prices because why? I ain't gonna walk to work. I'm not gonna ride a bike. So I'm driving. So I don't even look at the gas prices. And everybody's like, oh my God, you think this? It cost me X amount of dollars to fill up my diesel truck. Well then fucking don't drive your diesel truck. Or get a better job and make more money and stop bitching about it. Like, I'm so tired of seeing it on social media everywhere. Everybody's bitching about fuel prices. I don't care.
I don't agree with this guy. I understand what you're saying, but come on, we need to be fair here. There are bigger arguments here. You have oil routes, you have sanctions, you have war, you have energy security, and he should take consideration that a lot of families that commute, it's different between making the week work and falling behind in car payments and things of that nature. And if prices go up because of a bigger decision, let's be honest about this. Let's say like adults, let's not pretend that this is just an inconvenience and that gas is not expensive. It is. Independently of who we voted, which was probably Trump, right? Everything is expensive, and there are people that the paycheck is that paycheck. There's no way around it. If bills are raising up, that person cannot get more money. He cannot get a second job. Many are already with a second job and cannot pay rent. You have elderly people that are retired, so the paycheck is the same, and it doesn't compensate for the inflation, right? If the gas prices is high, Social Security is not going to adjust to that. So come on, let's be honest on this. It's getting hard, and work ethics is not the issue here. Is policies.
It doesn't matter. I gotta have it, and I make enough money. It doesn't matter. I just charge accordingly. It is what it is. All right, that's it. You tired?
Hi, friendly friends. I'm just here at the
So it's crazy, and guys, drop a comment. Tell me what you think about the situation. I understand why people are reacting like this. It's not just one expensive tank. It's everything getting expensive at the same time. It's your work. Getting to work is it's getting out of hand, right? You have to pay taxes. You have to do normal things that every family does. You have every basic bill. People are complaining and they are being negative because they have reasons to be so. And when was the last time that you fill up your tank? Let me know that. And how much did you pay for it? Right? Let's see if this situation can improve or not. And I hope the best for all of us. Stay well.